Picture this for a second. A healthy young guy is tying his running shoes. A mom is laughing with her kids over breakfast. Everything looks completely, perfectly normal. But if we could freeze that exact moment and zoom deep, deep inside their bodies, down to the microscopic level, a totally different story might be unfolding. Imagine just a few abnormal cells beginning to silently divide. They're glowing a faint red, multiplying in the dark, while these folks just go about their day completely oblivious. Welcome to This Explainer. Today we are exploring a topic that touches almost all of us, but we're going to look at it through the lens of science and empowerment, not fear.
So I want to ask you a kind of provocative question. What if your body actually knew before you did? You see, cancer rarely announces itself with dramatic, sudden pain. Instead, it drops incredibly subtle clues long before it spreads. It whispers way before it shouts. Every single year, millions of people get a cancer diagnosis, and a shocking number of them looked and felt absolutely perfectly healthy just weeks prior. Our whole goal with this explainer is to decode those whispers and translate them into knowledge that could literally save a life. Let's dive right into the cellular biology to understand how this whole process kicks off. Think about a normal cell. It grows, it does its job, and then through this beautifully regulated process called apoptosis, which is basically programmed cell death, it naturally dies off to make room for fresh new cells. But on the flip side, imagine a mutated cancer cell. It sustained some DNA damage, but instead of repairing itself or gracefully dying off, it just refuses to turn off. It bypasses that apoptosis process entirely. That is unregulated growth. This single rogue cell multiplying out of control, that's the biological starting point of all cancers. Now, before we jump into the specific symptoms, we really need a golden rule to live by, just so we aren't rushing to the doctor for every minor little ache, right? Enter Dr. Eric Richardson's 2Ps concept. The 2Ps stand for persistent and progressive. If a symptom is persistent, meaning it hangs around for several weeks without going away, and progressive, meaning it's steadily getting worse over time, that is your actionable threshold. That's your body's check engine light telling you to get a medical evaluation. Keep these 2Ps in the back of your mind for absolutely everything we cover today. Section 1. Systemic clues: weight, fatigue, and fever. Let's look at the body-wide signals first. Number 10 is unexplained weight loss. Imagine stepping on the bathroom scale and noticing you're suddenly down 10 pounds, but you haven't changed your diet or suddenly taken up marathon running. Why does that happen? Well, a growing tumor is highly energy intensive. It practically hijacks your body's nutrients to feed its own unregulated growth. Plus, some cancers release inflammatory proteins that actively break down muscle and suppress your appetite. But here is the crucial point, and I really want to reassure you on this. The vast majority of unexplained weight loss is just due to stress, a change in metabolism, or maybe a thyroid issue. But if it fits those 2Ps, definitely get it checked out. Numbers 9 and 8, persistent fatigue and fever. Look, we all get tired after a long week, but cancer-related fatigue is this crushing exhaustion that a full night's sleep just cannot fix. Biologically, what's happening is your immune system is fighting a massive hidden war, and that drains your energy reserves. And if you're dealing with persistent fevers or waking up totally drenched in night sweats, that can sometimes be an early indicator of blood-borne cancers like lymphoma or leukemia. But again, please don't panic. Simple viral infections or hormonal changes are by far the most common culprits here. It's only when these things persist for weeks that they become a real red flag. Section 2. Surface warnings, lumps and skin changes. We're moving from the inside of the body to the outside. Number 7 and 6. Skin changes and non-healing wounds. When you're looking in the mirror, always keep the gold standard for moles in mind, the ABCD rule. That's asymmetry, border irregularity, color variation, diameter larger than a pencil eraser, and most importantly, evolving over time. If a mole is doing any of those things, a dermatologist absolutely needs to see it. Also, if you have a sore in your mouth or a cut on your skin that just flat out refuses to heal after 3 to 4 weeks, that is a warning, because cancer cells literally disrupt the body's normal repair mechanisms. Number 5 is hard, painless lumps. You might just be taking a shower or putting on a shirt when you feel it. Whether it's in the breast, the neck, or the armpit, a brand new lump should always be investigated. Microscopically, what you're actually feeling is an enlarged lymph node, which is your body's filtration system, swelling up as it traps abnormal cells. And interestingly enough, cancer lumps are frequently painless in their early stages. But I want to emphatically reassure you here, the overwhelming majority of lumps you might find are completely benign, cysts, lipomas, or just signs of a minor localized infection. Just let a doctor confirm that for you, so you have peace of mind.
Section 3. Internal disruptions. blockages and bleeding. Let's head back inside the body. Sign number 4 is unusual bleeding. Let's actually step through the exact biology of why this happens. When a tumor forms, it heavily demands a blood supply, so it rapidly grows its own network of blood vessels. But here's the catch. These new vessels are weak, they're chaotic, and incredibly fragile. So when food or waste passes by, or even when you cough, these delicate vessels easily rupture. That's exactly why blood in your stool, urine, sputum, or unusual vaginal bleeding is a prime warning sign. But remember our balanced approach here. Blood in the stool is very frequently just hemorrhoids, and blood in the urine is often just a simple everyday urinary tract infection. Sign number 3 is difficulty swallowing. Imagine sitting down to your absolute favorite dinner, but feeling like the solid food is getting stuck right in the middle of your chest. Biologically, as a tumor grows in or near the esophagus, it physically narrows that passageway. Over time, you might literally feel forced to switch to softer foods or liquids. Now, before your mind starts racing, please know that acid reflux, or GERD, is usually the true culprit here, causing benign inflammation. But if that difficulty swallowing is progressive, it definitely requires a doctor's scope.
Sign number 2, persistent cough or hoarseness. Let's look at a realistic timeline for this one. Week 1, probably just a normal cold or the flu. Week 2, just some lingering irritation. But if a cough pushes past that 3-week mark, or if your voice becomes permanently hoarse, it crosses right into the medical evaluation zone. Biologically, a tumor in the lung or throat can irritate your airways or even physically press against the delicate nerves that control your vocal cords. But, I'll say it again, most chronic coughs are just stubborn remnants of a respiratory bug or seasonal allergies. Finally, sign number 1, unexplained changes in bathroom habits and persistent waking pain. If your daily routine suddenly shifts to chronic constipation, pencil-thin stools, or this unexplainable, constant urge to go, it could be a tumor narrowing the colon. Similarly, if you experience a really deep pain that literally snaps you awake at 2 a.m., which is a classic sign that a mass might be pressing on a nerve, you need to act on it. But let me say it one more time for good measure. Irritable bowel syndrome, food intolerances, and even just poor sleep posture are exponentially more common causes for these things. Section 4, the power of early detection, replacing fear with science. Okay, take a deep breath. We've covered the biological observations. Now, I want to radically shift the tone here, because the true power of this explainer isn't about fearing these symptoms, it's about what happens when you catch them early. Let's consider some recent oncology statistics out of India. It reveals a pretty tragic reality. A staggering 70% of cancer cases in some regions are diagnosed in the advanced stages. Why? Simply because those early whispers, the fatigue, the slight weight loss, the lingering cough, are totally ignored, brushed off as just stress or getting older. And when cancer is caught that late, it's usually already metastasized, making treatment incredibly difficult. But here is a timeline that should give you absolute hope. Think about the development of pancreatic cancer, which is often considered one of the most aggressive forms out there. From the very first cellular mutation in year 1 to a precancerous state around year 12, all the way to an advanced metastatic stage at year 19. Do you see what that means? Cancer doesn't just attack overnight. It takes years, sometimes literally decades, to develop. This gives us a massive, sprawling window of time to intervene if we just listen to our bodies. And when we do intervene early, when we don't ignore those 2 Ps, the survival rate for many cancers skyrockets to between 80% and 90%. That is huge. At that stage, the tumor is localized. It can be surgically removed or targeted with extreme precision. This is exactly why we have to replace fear with scientific understanding. You have so much more control over this than you've been led to believe. So your absolute crucial takeaway today is simple. Cancer is not a death sentence. It's a disease that gives warning signs. I want you to leave this explainer feeling empowered, not scared. Respect your body's signals. Remember those 2 Ps, and please share this explainer to help someone else. Awareness is literally the ultimate preventative medicine, and your simple act of sharing this could very well give someone a nudge they need to save their own life. But I'll leave you with this one final thought. If your body has been whispering to you lately, are you truly listening?